All right, board exams are breathing down our necks, so let's absolutely nail the settlements and migrations chapter. We're going to do it in the next 5 minutes. This is your super fast, high-yield revision. No fluff, just the stuff you need to know to score big. Ready? Let's jump in.
So, first things first, the most basic definition you've got to know. What exactly is a settlement? Well, it's pretty simple. It's just the organized space where we humans live and work. You know, think about your own town or city. The buildings, the roads, the schools. That whole setup? That's a settlement. Easy peasy.
Okay, here's a classic comparison they love to ask about. Nomadic versus sedentary life. For like 180,000 years, we were nomadic, always on the move. So what was the game changer? One word: agriculture. The moment we could farm, we could become sedentary, stay in one place. And that is the key shift that made permanent settlements possible. Now, listen up, because this is a pair of terms students mix up all the time: site and situation. Here's the deal. The site is the actual spot of land a place is built on. What's the soil like? Is it on a hill? Is there water nearby? The situation, on the other hand, is all about its connection to its surroundings. How close is it to other cities? What are the trade routes? So just remember this: site is the spot, situation is the surroundings. Got it? And this picture, it's a perfect illustration of site. Just look at this fort at Pratapgarh. You think they built it on that specific hill by accident? No way. They chose it for its high altitude, which gave them a massive military advantage. The choice of this physical piece of land, this specific site, was totally strategic. All right, let's move on to how we organize these settlements. We call it the settlement hierarchy, and trust me, this is a super high-yield topic for your exam, so you'll want to pay close attention here. Take a look at this settlement pyramid. It's a really cool way to visualize how settlements are organized by size. See, down at the very bottom, you've got tons of tiny little hamlets. But as you move up the pyramid, the settlements get bigger and bigger, but there are fewer of them, all the way up to the massive megacities right at the peak. So the crucial thing here, you have to memorize these numbers. A megacity is any city with over 10 million people. We're talking Mumbai or Delhi. A metropolitan city is in that 1 to 10 million range. Seriously, these population figures are like free points for definition questions. Go ahead, write them down. Okay, next up, we're going to tackle the massive trend that's reshaping India as we speak: urbanization. And of course, the huge challenges that come right along with it. Here's another definition you absolutely must know. Urbanization isn't just about more people cramming into cities. The key part of this definition, the part that gets you the marks, is the shift away from agricultural work. So it's a change in where people live and a change in what they do for a living. You can pretty much bet there'll be a question on the problems of urbanization. When this kind of growth is unplanned, it triggers these 5 big issues. A huge strain on infrastructure. Pollution goes way up. You get waste disposal problems. And of course, the growth of slums. These are your mark-scoring keywords right here. And this image, well, it shows the tough reality behind those bullet points we just talked about. This is exactly what happens when a city's growth just explodes and the infrastructure can't keep up. You can see the housing and sanitation challenges right there, clear as day. Now let's look at something totally different, a really modern concept that's the opposite of that unplanned growth, the aerotropolis. It's basically a city built around a massive airport. The airport itself becomes the new city center. The areas around the Bengaluru or Hyderabad airports are great examples. It's a really fascinating, planned way of thinking about settlements. Okay, let's switch gears a little and talk about the engine that's driving so much of this urbanization: migration. Another core definition for your exam: migration is simply the movement of people from one place to another. Now, this movement is driven by 2 big forces. You've got push factors, the reasons that make you want to leave a place, like no jobs, and pull factors, the things that attract you to a new place, like better schools or more opportunities. You need to know these 5 patterns. But the most important one for this chapter, the one that really fuels urbanization, is number 2, rural to urban migration. And what's interesting is that the pull factors are often different from men and women. For men, the main pull factor is almost always employment. For women, the census data shows the most common reason given is marriage.
Now, what's really interesting here is when you look at the data, it tells us who is migrating. And while it's true that people from all communities move, you can see that a really big chunk, over 60% if you add it up, comes from OBC, SC, and ST backgrounds, often moving to find better opportunities.
Okay, we're in the final stretch. This is the rapid-fire round. These are the 10 facts you absolutely, positively must know. Lock these in your brain before you walk into that exam hall. Let's do this.
Number 1, site is the spot, situation is the surroundings. Do not get those mixed up.
What's the magic number for a megacity? Over 10 million people.
3, and for a metropolitan city, you're looking at a range of 1 to 10 million.
Urbanization is that population shift to cities, specifically for non-agricultural work. Remember that part.
5, an aerotropolis? That's the cool, modern city that's centered on an airport.
Migration is simply the movement of people for social, economic, or political reasons. Remember this key fact. The number one reason for male migration is employment. It's all about the job. 8. And for female migration, the most commonly cited reason in the census is marriage. You've got to know this law. For international migration, the Immigration Act of 1983 is the key piece of legislation protecting Indian workers who go abroad.
And finally, number 10. The number one destination for Indian workers, especially from the southern states, is West Asia. And here's a final thought to chew on. With so many people now working from anywhere, is the big move to cities going to reverse? Or are we about to see totally new kinds of settlements pop up? Something to think about. That's everything you need. You've got this. Now go ace that exam. Good luck!